Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, and Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are celebrating International Emergency Kit Day, which is celebrated on July 9th, a day to raise awareness about being prepared. When disaster strikes, an emergency kit, sometimes called a go bag or disaster bag, is a portable kit that has essentials you and your family need to survive in case of emergency. They are easy to grab when you need to evacuate for whatever reason, usually a natural disaster. This day is a reminder to check your kit or build one day. It will make all the difference when an emergency happens. The idea of preparedness kits goes back to World War II when civilians were given survival guides by governments. These guides gave instructions on what to do and where to go in an emergency, and also encouraged families to prepare shelters that had emergency supplies. Emergency preparedness reached fever pitch during the Cold War when fallout shelters were popular. Some of these were fully built out underground homes that were stockpiled with supplies to last a long time. While some sort of federal emergency department has existed in the US for many years, it wasn't until 1979 that the Federal Emergency Management Agency was legally created. President Jimmy Carter signed Executive Order 12127, which saw the creation of this agency, in short known as FEMA, promoted the 72-hour kit, encouraging families to ensure that they can be self-sufficient for at least 3 days. In the last 2 decades, natural disasters and other emergencies have highlighted how crucial it is to have an emergency kit prepared. Today, emergency kits reflect lessons learned from decades of disasters, incorporating modern technologies such as solar chargers and water purification systems, while maintaining focus on basic survival necessities that have remained constant throughout the history. An emergency kit is a collection of essential supplies that you will need to survive a disaster or emergency situation. There are essential items to pack in your kit: non-perishable food and water, flashlight and extra batteries, communication devices, change of clothes and shoes, first aid kit, eyeglasses and hearing aids, hygiene and sanitation supplies, medications and medical equipment, sleeping bags and blankets, health information, and identity documents. There are a number of steps you can take to prepare yourself for emergencies and disasters. These include creating an emergency plan, assembling disaster supply kits, knowing where to seek shelter from all types of hazards, and identifying the community warning systems and evacuation routes. So take inventory of what emergency supplies you already have at home, in your car and at work. Check expiration dates on food, water, medications, and batteries. Create a list of missing items that need to be purchased or updated to ensure your emergency kit meets safety standards of the current day. Build your 72-hour kits. Assemble a comprehensive emergency kit that can sustain your family for at least 3 days without assistance. Include essential items such as water, non-perishable food, first aid supplies, flashlights, batteries, and important documents. Store everything in waterproof containers and keep kits easily accessible in multiple locations. Conduct emergency drills with your household to ensure everyone knows where the emergency supplies can be found and how to use them properly. Practice different scenarios like power outages, severe weather, or evacuation procedures. Assign specific responsibilities to each family member and review your emergency plan regularly. Store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene needs. First aid kit should include bandages, antiseptic wipes, pain relievers, prescription medications, thermometer, and emergency contact information. Don't forget any special medication such as inhalers or insulin. Ensure that there is a 3-day supply of food such as energy bars, canned food, dried fruits, and nuts. Pack a can opener too. Make physical and digital copies of IDs, medical records, and insurance policies and store them on a USB or in a waterproof containers. Store flashlights and extra batteries in kits and throughout the house. Preparing an emergency kit together can be a good opportunity to discuss any questions family members may have. It's a chance to educate and reduce anxiety about disasters or emergencies. Don't let unexpected events catch you off guard. A good emergency kit can really help. Knowing you have all the essentials on hand allows you to stay calm and think clearly, which is just as important as having supplies themselves. Well-prepared individuals strengthen entire communities by reducing the burden on emergency services during disasters. When neighbors are equipped with proper emergency supplies, they can assist each other and contribute to overall community recovery efforts. Emergency preparedness creates a ripple effect that benefits everyone in the area. Today is also commemorated as Argentina Independence Day. Argentina Independence Day is observed annually on July 9th. It is a national public holiday that marks the day when Argentina declared independence from Spain. Independence Day is a historically significant event for every country, and on this day, Argentina organizes remarkable celebration with patriotic events. On July 9th, 1816, the Congress of Tucumán declared the independence of the United Provinces of South America. The region the nation belonged to, Argentina, take to the streets and participate in many different activities, from marches and concerts to the public rallies and parades to celebrate Argentina's Independence Day. Anyone in Argentina or on another continent of the world can celebrate the holiday. To promote education among Argentine students, many organizations and companies have established various schemes to promote them. Today is also commemorated as Call of the Horizon Day on July 9th in US. Annually on July 9th, it is an interesting event that is observed by seizing the day, looking into the horizon, enjoying the little moments, and concentrating on what matters most in the life. It is a day to help us start working towards our dreams and doing tasks that we keep procrastinating on or haven't yet to plan. So, what's that you are waiting for? Join us on the special day to make most of it. Regardless of the origin, the horizon has always symbolized dreams, hopes, and opportunities in stories and movies since time immemorial. Because of its beauty and vastness, horizon could also significantly something unattainable or unfulfilled dreams that are out of reach. In the notable 1918 American play titled Before the Horizon, award winner playwright Eugene O'Neill describes one of the main characteristics to be particularly drawn to the horizon, which to him represents freedom and adventure, but never acting on his dream. The play won the 1920 Pulitzer Prize for Drama for the tragic narrative that highlights how dreams are necessary to sustain one's life. Call of the Horizon has been considered equivalent to Wanderlust Day in other countries. However, the concept of Wanderlust Day steers more towards travel and exploration, striking more of resemblance of World Dream Day initiated in 2012. Call of Horizon Day is an empowerment-driven day to motivate people to pursue and manifest their dreams. Because our future is not ascertained anyway, this day is dedicated to focusing on our next move and planning our next project without reservations or equivocation. There is no better place to think big and move forward with our life choices with optimism and then an open space with a grand view of the horizon. A high enough place, a vast flat field, or an ocean is the best place to imagine our next move and dream about our adventure. A beautiful memory filled with promise to ourselves would create even a better memory. Today is also commemorated as Fashion Day in US on July 9th every year, which is important as it gives everyone the opportunity to put their fashionable side on display and let the world see their unique aesthetic sense, be it throughout their clothes or accessories. Fashion is an integral part of American society since so many culturally diverse communities live and thrive in the country, where every individuals have a unique way of expressing their fashion sense. The first ever Fashion Day was celebrated in 2016, which makes this day relatively recent one on the American cultural calendar. It appears that Fashion Day might have emerged as a popular day that through social media or the effects of an unidentifiable group with a zeal to celebrate everyday fashion choices made by Americans across the country. Whether the origins of the day, Fashion Day appears to have gained a lot of traction since its creation in 2016. Fashion Day is an interesting occasion and can be seen as a kind of public revolt against the dominant fashion trends and styles that are set by major fashion houses and corporations across the country. It is this reason that the day is seen as a popular event for LGBTQ groups and people all over the country, as it gives them the opportunity to assert their fashion choices and taste without any fear or criticism. For many people, especially those who inspire to join the fashion industry, Fashion Day is a great time to dive into the world of fashion and experience how different individuals pursue fashion and those to express their fashion sense through the clothes and makeup they wear on this day. There is also commemorated as full day of Vaso in Myanmar, which is observed during the full moon day of Vaso, the fourth month of the Burmese calendar. It tends to fall in July or August as per the Gregorian calendar. This year it will be observed on July 9th, similar to other days celebrated in other countries. It marks the anniversary of first sermon by Lord Buddha in the Deer Park in Sarnath, India, over 2,500 years ago. This is also the first day of the Buddhist Lent, which lasts for 3 months during this period. Buddhists will abstain from consuming meat, alcohol, or smoking. They gather and offer flowers at pagodas and offer monks new robes. Born in Lumbini, India, Siddhartha Gautama was a member of aristocratic Shakya clan. During the reign of Magadha ruler Bimbasara, when the sheltered young man, the story goes, embarked on a journey outside the walls of his palace, he saw the reality of suffering beyond aristocratic luxury and subsequently renounced his place in society and adopted the life of an ascetic. After many years of meditation and mendicancy, he is believed to have attained enlightenment, the knowledge and understanding of the cycle of life and death, and how to lead a good life of moderation. He began traveling across the Gangetic Plain to spread his message of a middle path. The first sermon ever delivered by Gautama was over 2,500 years ago in the Deer Park in Sarnath, India. In this sermon entitled Setting the Wheel of Dharma in Motion, Gautama laid down four noble truths and the noble eightfold path. According to the sermon, there were four universal noble truths: the existence of suffering, the cause of suffering, and that cause of suffering can end, and the path to an end of suffering. He propounded that a human suffering can end by following the middle path or the noble eightfold path: right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and the right concentration. Following this path would also allow a person to break away from suffering and attain nirvana. After his death, Gautama came to be known as Buddha, which means the enlightened one. Today is also commemorated as the fourth month of Burmese calendar. The staple food is rice and curry in Myanmar, and the capital of Burma is Naypyidaw. The first sermon of Lord Buddha marks the anniversary of the day Buddhist philosophy was established, when the day reading upon it, Buddhist philosophy. Gautam Buddha had an aspiring life, used this day as an opportunity to learn more about him. If possible, visit a Buddhist temple on this day and offer your prayers. Not only it as an inspiring spiritual experience, but it is also a marvel of architecture. Buddhism has two main branches, Mahayana and Theravada. Buddhism is the fourth largest religion in the world. Buddhism was first mentioned in the Western writing in the 2nd century AD, and Buddhism does not believe in a supreme creator. Lord Buddha founded an order of people called the Sangha, which has preserved the teachings of Buddha to this day. There are over 500 million Buddhists in the world. The first sermon of Lord Buddha is unimportant for them. For people who don't know about Buddhism, the day is a perfect opportunity to learn about the beliefs and practices associated with Buddhism. Even if you aren't a follower of the religion, the texts are a wonderful glimpse into history and belief systems. The Buddhist belief in the middle path is a very important philosophy to analyze. The day offers an opportunity to ponder upon. Today is also commemorated as National Don't Put All Your Eggs in One Omelette Day in US, which is a metaphor, an idiom that warns people against concentrating all your efforts or putting all your hopes into one venture because they could lose it all. The analogy applies to omelets as well. Have you ever gotten so hungry that you crack too many eggs into a pan and end up with a sloppy mishmash of an omelette? It's irritating, messy, and wasteful. So this day hopes to discourage that. Eggs are more than food. They played a symbolic role in many cultures and civilizations. They appeared in festival ceremonies and traditional celebrations. They represent change and growth. Today is also commemorated as National Sugar Cookie Day in US. Arguably one of the greatest days of all time, National Sugar Cookie Day falls on July 9th each year and provides us with the perfect excuse to indulge in our guilty as sugar-filled cravings. They are fun, they are classic, but most importantly, they taste unbelievably delicious. Originating back in 1700s in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, sugar cookies were initially referred to as Nazareth cookies by German Protestant settlers and baked in shape of a keystone. Their state symbol, fast forward a couple hundred of years later, and traditional sugar cookies are now a treasured staple amid most households. They are outweigh simple sugar cookies are a popular treat frequently consumed on numerous different occasions, including Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas, and birthdays. There are also ample ways to celebrate this day, but really do we need a reason to celebrate? So today is also commemorated as Palalu Constitution Day, which is observed annually on July 9th. On this day, most public events occur in the capital of Nagalmat and the city of Korur, with citizens taking the day off from work to spend time with their loved ones. The national holiday celebrates Palau culture and history, marking its journey to independence from the US. Through popular referendums in 1981, Palau opted not to join the rest of Micronesia and adopted its own constitution, which is modeled after the American Constitution, outlining in its relationship with the US through free association. Archaeological evidence suggests that people from Southeast Asia inhabited the present-day Republic of Palau between 3,000 and 4,000 years ago. The ancient Palauans practiced extensive agriculture terracing using specialized technology made of shell and stone. The first Europeans to arrive on Palau were Spaniards who controlled the territory until 1899 when the Germany purchased the islands. In 1914, at the start of the First World War, the Japanese took over the islands. Under their rule, Palau developed modern infrastructure and industries, and Japan dominance continued for decades. By 1935, the island of Korun, one of the most densely populated islands in the world, had more than 4 times as many Japanese as locals. World War II turned Palau into a strategic military base for the Japanese, acting as a launch pad for Japanese operations in Philippines following the defeat of Axis powers in 1947. Palau became a US administrative territory. So in 1980, Palau adopted a new constitution, but it wasn't until 1986 that they agreed on a draft compact of free association with the United States. Palau voted to amend the constitution to allow approval of the compact with 73% voting in favor of the motion. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court would rule this amendment unconstitutional, leading to the years of strike for the small island nation. Palau eventually met America's demands, and on October 1st, 1994, Palau achieved self-governance in free association with the US. Today is also commemorated as State Rebellion Day in Brazil. The Brazilian state of Sao Paulo commemorates the 1932 constitutional revolution with state rebellion on July 9th every year. The constitutionalist revolution of 1932 is the term given to the rebellion of the people of Sao Paulo, Brazil against the Brazilian Revolution of 1930. When Gyuntelo Vargas were elected president of the country, local dissatisfaction grew as a result of Vargas' rule by decree under a provisional government that was not governed by the constitution. The Sao Paulo Revolution of 1930 attempted to erode the autonomy that states had throughout the 1891 constitution period. After the slaying of 4 protesting students by government troops on May 23rd, 1932, the state fight for revolution began on July 9, 1932. Following their killings, a movement known as MMDC arose, named after the initials of each of our 4 students killed: Martins, Miraglia, Druzio, and Camargo. Alvargan, a 5th victim, was also shot that night but died months later. It took a few months for the state of Sao Paulo to defy the federal authorities. The politicians in Sao Paulo expected a swift fight as a result of the assurance given to them by elites of politics from other influential states in the area, namely Rio Grande do Sul and Minas Gerais, but their camaraderie were never translated into actual backing. This caused the insurrection in Paulo to be put down in military on October 2nd, 1932. So there were 87 days of warfare in total, with 934 official deaths and an estimated of 2,200 non-official deaths. Despite the military setback, Vargas finally accepted and several of primary objectives of the state revolutionary movement, including the appointment of a non-military state governor, a new election of the Constituent Assembly, and the ratification of a new constitution in 1934. However, the constitution was short-lived as Vargas closed the National Congress in 1937 amidst rising political radicalism and approved a new constitution, established the Estado Novo administration. July 9th is a day that the most important civic day in the state of Sao Paulo, as it commemorates the start of 1932 revolution. It was the first significant uprising against Getúlio Vargas regime and the last major armed battle in Brazilian history. Today is also commemorated as Foundation Day of ABVP, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad in India, celebrates 77th Foundation Day in 2025. It reflects on the legacy of student empowerment, national awakening, and cultural resurgence. Rooted in Bharatiya values, ABVP continues to inspire youth leadership, academic excellence, and societal transformation across campuses nationwide. The Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, ABVP, the world's largest student organization, celebrates its Foundation Day on July 9th every year as Rashtriya Vidyarthi Divas, National Students' Day across the country among the students from all walks of life. Today, as ABVP enters its 77th year, it proudly reflects on a legacy marked by dedication, dynamic student leadership, and significant contributions to Bharat's educational and cultural landscape. Founded in 1949, during the same era when the Constituent Assembly was drafting the Constitution of India, the ABVP's origin was deeply rooted in nationalistic ideals and a Bharat-centric thought. Even in its formative years, ABVP began its journey by raising crucial demands related to nation, society, and culture. Notably, it urged the Constituent Assembly to declare Hindi as the national language and Vande Mataram as the national song, a demand later accepted, showcasing the ideological foresight of ABVP's early Karyakartas, the activists who prioritized Bharat's identity, ethos, and civilizational continuity. Over the decades, ABVP has evolved while staying true to its core principles. It continues to contribute to nation building by focusing on the personality development of students, offering purposeful engagement, and nurturing a positive academic environment across campuses. At a time when students are often burdened with mental stress, anxiety, and uncertainties about the future, ABVP has emerged as a beacon of hope and confidence for the youth. Recently, through initiatives like Parisar Chalo Abhiyan, ABVP addressed the rising the disengagement among students from campus activities and promoted a return to vibrant academic life. With the vision of building a joyful and meaningful student life, ABVP Karyakarta strive to transform the Annamaya Kosha, that is the physical body, into the Anandamaya Kosha, the blissful self, enabling students to live enriched and value-based lives. The ABVP has launched numerous initiatives, including Swadhyay Mandals and the Rashtriya Kala Manch, which encourages students to explore creative, cultural, and intellectual pursuits. In today's environment, where even minor setbacks lead some students to hopeless, ABVP creates an uplifting atmosphere that helps them rediscover meaning and confidence in their journey. Beyond academics, the ABVP works on themes such as environmental sensitivity, civil discipline, and social responsibility. It believes that a strong Bharat requires student leadership from all disciplines, and ABVP emphasizes student participation in national reconstruction and societal transformation. So, to this end, ABVP is engaged in Kutumba Prabodhan, fostering family values and dialogue, promoting dialogue between students and teachers to rebuild India's traditional campus culture where harmony and mutual respect prevail over conflict, reviving Indian philosophical traditions within campuses to create holistic academics spaces. So, quoting the Sanskrit verse, a translated version, a skilled educational institution is one where learning is driven by moral purpose and true knowledge is pursued. Unlike other student organizations tied to political parties or individual ideologies, the ABVP is uniquely driven by the ideal of restoring Bharat to its rightful place as Vishwaguru, a global guide rooted in timeless Indian values and civilizational wisdom. Through initiatives like SAIL, students' expertise in inner state living, ABVP connects students from the Northeast to the rest of the Bharat, enriching their cultural understanding and strengthening the vision of Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat. ABVP has also worked to promote Indian thought in premier institutions nationwide, advocate for Indian models of sustainable development, which prioritize long-term progress over short-term exploitation, inspire pride in Bharatiya symbols, heritage, and knowledge traditions, encouraging students to honor, protect, and celebrate their civilizational identity. Today, the ABVP's presence is felt not only in universities and colleges, but also in every sphere of society, whether in academia, the arts, science, policy, or governance, where its alumni lead with integrity and a national commitment. As ABVP celebrates its 77th Foundation Day in 2025, completing 76 years of glorious student movement, it continues to shine as a symbol of national awakening, cultural revival, and student empowerment, with a vision to create a joyful and meaningful student life based on the highest values of Bharat. ABVP moves forward, resilient, relevant, and ready to lead the youth towards a brighter and self-reliant future. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us in today's commemorations. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form which has been raised in the form of polls. So see you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care. Good night.